Hey guys, we are back with the team from Days Gone. We got John, Jeff, and Chris here, and Sid, of course. We're going to be rocking a little bit of the Days Gone gameplay demo. How are you guys doing?
Great.
We're so excited to have you back.
Yeah, right.
So Sid, are you ready to dive into this?
I'm ready. Let's do it. All right, here we go. We're watching some live gameplay here of Days Gone. I have picked up the controller. I'm looking through the binoculars, and I see trouble. I see trouble.
Lots of trouble. Yeah, absolutely. I think you're looking at about 250 individual horde units right here. This is smaller than the horde we showed at the sawmill a few years ago, but I feel it's a good starter horde for you.
And it's really important now, prepare.
So, all right, you just took a bunch of ammo from your saddlebags. So,
oh, saddlebags, cool.
Yeah, and that's an important upgrade for the bike to prepare you for encounters such as this. All right. When you don't try to kill them with the bike. But since it's a sandbox, I say you go for it.
All right. Off to a bad start.
Really bad start.
Nice job.
This is the world's best demo.
I could have done that, dude.
Thanks, Sid.
This
is not
oh, man.
This is not going to go well.
We're going for realism.
Okay, so there's separate inversion for on foot and vehicle, I noticed.
Okay, yeah.
So let's do that. We're playing it live here. Is that a separate feature?
Yeah, it is, actually.
Yeah, so press R2 to go to the bike.
Display. Oh, sorry. There we go.
There you
All right, there we go. Now we're good. Now everything's going to go flawless.
It was the old inverted controls.
That's right. I'm a freak. That's right. It is the right way to play. Here we go. Easy now. Oh, mama. This is a more powerful bike than what I drove in the last build.
Yes, this is an upgraded bike.
Yeah.
This looks gorgeous.
So the horde is back behind you, Sid.
Easy now. This game looks incredible.
No strategy in this game is a bad strategy, but I'm going to say this is a terrible strategy.
The worst strategy.
Yeah.
So tell me, what do I have in terms of weaponry here?
Okay, well, so if you get off your bike, you can access your survival wheel, and on this you're going to have your weapons in the cardinal directions, but then in the upper right-hand corner you're going to have throwable explosives. In the upper left, you're going to have your consumables, which include things like your health, your bandages, but most importantly, kind of survival buffs. Things that will help enhance your core attributes. And crafting one's going to take away from another, of course, so you've got to make choices that suit your playstyle. And then also we have distractions on the bottom left corner. Not really the best for the horde, but on the bottom right we have traps. So in this case, I think you might have proximity bombs or airbag remote detonators. I think in this case you have the proximity mines. And if you plan properly and look through the environment, you find like key places that you say, I want to run the horde through here later and trigger this detonation when enough of them run past it. So you can, smart players will do that. Foolish players will just charge in, guns a-blazing, and it's going to be a lot harder for those guys.
What kind of player will Sid be?
Players will try to jam their bike into the horde. They can try that.
So what's your strategy here, Sid? What are you thinking?
How do I
Stalling is a strategy.
You've got it selected right there, and then hit R2 to...
R2, okay.
Oh, no!
You can't melee the horde.
You could try.
The strategy is panic and run.
Okay, we're on the move now. Lost my bike. Not good.
You can still save it. I don't recommend a melee bat against these guys, but give it a go.
Got to stay nimble here. This is going to be 10 minutes of me running from these guys, isn't it?
Well, Sid's trying to make his way around. How do you guys plan for all of these different tactics that people are going to dive into? How do you think ahead of time of people are going to want to go about this a million different ways? So what's the process of building out all of that?
Well, we think about what makes kind of sense and what sounds cool that fits the IP, but we do have to provide a lot of different tools just so they can have that, that flexibility. And then we just try to keep things very loose so that we're going to be surprised by a lot of the videos we see online of people playing this. We'll be like, wow, I didn't think that would happen. And when we've done that internally, we've been surprised about how things just kind of work. So we're supporting it by
it's always the best part of games like this is just seeing how people get so creative.
Yeah, absolutely.
We had a company meeting last week where our head of QA literally took on the horde using his crossbow and custom crafted explosive bolts.
Oh my gosh.
And it was pretty amazing. So he pretty much got all the way there. I think he had to use one Molotov, but Jeff and I had never seen that happen before, so we were surprised, and we were like, oh.
And what's cool about it, and I think this goes to your question, is it makes perfect sense that it worked because the way we built the systems, but Emergence is about a bunch of wholly predictable, unpredictable things, and it just works. Like we're catching yourself on fire.
Catching yourself on fire is possibly a good strategy.
That's so he can set them on fire when they grab him. That's
that was the plan.
Okay. This is
so one of the things we want to point out, though, is that the Horde locations are all story-driven, and so this is a mass grave site. So Nero would have come in as the world was ending, dug these mass graves, and they happen to have giant barrels of fuel that they would have used to burn the corpses of all the people who had died during the pandemic. So there's a reason why you find all these explodables out in these areas.
Yeah.
And
there you go.
One of the key strategies is to go and find those first, and then plan as you're running around to try to drag the Horde.
Out of ammo.
Out of ammo. There you go.
And in these encounters, you really got to be thinking on your feet as you're running forward.
Tore me to pieces.
Not dying.
I'm doing better, though. I'm getting a hang of this thing.
Yeah.
Now I got it all figured out.
But you want to scan the environment constantly, looking for new opportunities. And a lot of them reveal themselves, but you've got to be nimble, you've got to be moving, you've got to be thinking, and using the survival wheel, and just using every mechanical aspect it wants to survive.
And these are late game encounters. So you run into the Horde throughout the game. Early on, you can't take them on. You're not strong enough. You're not fast enough. You don't have large enough magazines in your weapons. So you really learn early on.
You have to work your way up.
Yeah, how you're going to put them. By the time you get to this mission, you would have learned some of the strategies.
And you'll notice those logs right there. If you blow those open, they'll actually.
One of the things I think is great about this too is that you also have the cultists that are out there.
So actually, go to your
lower
right-hand corner, like 4 o'clock on your survival
that
wheel.
you have to be worried about, and so this could
bring up the
possibly
survival
be a
wheel
situation that you would maybe
and then go to
use
the
them to your
kind
advantage
of 4
if
o'clock
there were other enemies around.
Place that thing on the barrel.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think you have one equipped. So hold L2.
This is one of the late game missions.
And
there are open world encounters.
And then when you trigger them, make sure they
you
run
could have
past
an
here.
ambush camp that you have to go take on. If you see a Horde nearby, you can be a Pied Piper. You can actually get on your bike, ride through the Horde, drag them up into the ambush camp, and then watch the mayhem that ensues.
Oh my gosh. All right, here they come, Sid. Oh.
Nice one.
Nice.
You got about a quarter of them.
Front row. Front row.
Oh, you're going to have to reload pretty soon, dude.
Get out.
It worked for a while.
It did. I mean, we're making progress. We're chipping away here. This is unlike anything I've ever played. I've never fought so many enemies at once. I mean, it's really, really interesting. Let's see here. I was digging these Molotovs.
So one of the other things we wanted to point out is that we've been working really hard on performance. So if you saw the demo that we released some footage last month, it was kind of alpha footage. And, this kind of polish really comes very, very late in the game. So this is like almost final lighting for the environment. The environment and tech guys have been working really hard on that, but also performance is key for this game.
All right.
All right, it's on.
Oh.
There we go.
Oh, there it is.
Nicely done.
They're starting to fan out.
Whoa.
Yeah, as you can see, they're starting to avoid the fire as well. So anything that's red is explodable as well.
Keep moving, Sid.
Short controlled bursts. Boom.
Yeah, always
Oh, it's time to run. It's time to run.
red items.
Oh,
and
no.
barrels. And
that's how we show it's alive.
Yeah.
Sid
This
did
legit.
that. I blame him.
I did too good.
Yeah.
That was the problem.
All right, so you can see we still have some optimization.
Yeah. We're not coming out until February, so.
We still have some work to go.
You guys are coming out February 22nd, though. I'm sure you can polish that right up. It's a live environment, though. I mean, these things happen early in development. But, yeah, that was super cool. I have never played anything like that. It was really, really unique. And, I mean, we're just obviously kind of goofing around here, playing with the huge, huge, huge hordes. But, I mean, there's a lot of stuff to do in this game, and there's a lot of emergent systems that come about, and you saw some of it here. I mean, every single time I tried that on, it was a completely different experience.
Yes, exactly.
And I know that's something that you guys are really focused on. I mean, you know, whether it's, you know, the criers, the freaker ravens that may choose to attack at one point or another. I mean, talk a little bit about how those systems sort of, you know, combine with each other.
The horde is just one part of the game, you know.
Yeah.
It's several... You know, it's an ecosystem of creatures that are all trying to survive and using any tactics, you know, necessary, as are you. So humans are just as dangerous as the horde, just in different ways. The criers are dangerous in their own ways. And really, from a design point of view, we found just let these systems, set up these systems so they interact, and the possibilities are endless. And the game just kind of makes it. I'm going to say makes itself. A lot of work went into setting it up to this point, but it allows you to be the author of your experience. And it's a really rich experience that is fun for us to watch, and I think that's what people want. You know, in a game where it's about freedom with a character, and it's also about freedom in gameplay decisions and choices, and I feel it's the only way to make a modern game at this point.
I mean, it's truly an emergent game, and there's just so many factors that can coalesce around it. So I have a real hunch that this one's going to be big among the streaming community. I mean, I think you never know what you're going to get, you know. And even in our 7-8 minutes of play here, where I botched it horribly and then slowly figured out what to do, it was just totally different every time. So depending on what weapons, what tactics, what approach.
Exactly.
Bike, not bike, use traps, you know, full offense.
Do you guys have a couple favorite ways that you would have tackled that?
So what I would have done
Your
is
go-to strategy.
You know, what I like to do is, you know, sometimes I'll go through and place the bombs and stuff. I like to kind of get right into the action. And I like to level up on my stamina and my focus. In this situation, I think it's actually a little bit more important than health. If you pull it off properly, you can go unscathed if you can stay ahead of them, and you can use focus mode to go in and selectively target them. But it's just really cool to run through, and you feel like, you know, Jason Bourne, kind of, hey, I can do this, I can do that, I can shoot this thing. If I vault through that, I'll go over there, get some ammo, do this. And then I'll run back by my bike, and then I'll top off the ammo, and then I'll go back and I'll draw them around this way. It's just, it feels like you're in the decathlon.
Jumped on the bike. I should have, when I got him pissed off, I should have run around, jumped on the bike, and gotten out of there.
Yes, I've done that as well.
Really got to keep
Jeff's
an
a
eye
better
on that
player
bike.
than me, so I use the bombardment strategy, which is where I stock up on all the attractor grenades that I can carry, all the napalm Molotovs, all the pipe bombs, and I'll just lob those into the pit, and then just keep lobbing until I run out. And that'll take out 3/4 of the horde.
How many freakers do you think we were seeing there?
250.
Yeah. It's one of the baby hordes.
Yeah,
it's
one
a
of the
baby
smaller
horde.
hordes.
So what I'm thrilled about this is that, you know, 2 years ago when we revealed it, it was our 500 unit horde. That's the same horde you were fighting today. It was kind of our simplest system to put in the game, believe it or not, and it just comes straight at you.
Yeah.
And it'll go around and over and through things, but it's so simple and yet so robust. But it's real, and I'm glad that you got a chance to see.
No, it was.
Kind of prove
It's like nothing I've ever played before, and I can't wait to get in there and really get familiar with the controls and with the inventory system. There's a lot to take in here. I love games with that kind of depth and those tactical options. So, thanks guys for swinging by.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having
We have a lot more coming for you guys here live at E3. Stay tuned.
PlayStation